wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone. So let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Nurhida Natasha Abu Bakar from the School of Health Sciences, University Science Malaysia, who will be responsible for chairing this webinar. So all praise and gratitude are to Allah, the Almighty. So on behalf of the organizing committee, I am honored and delighted to welcome all dignitaries, speakers, and participants to the USM-UNAND webinar series number 1 on essential oils and its applications in medicines and health. So this seminar, or this webinar actually, is organized by the School of Health Sciences, University Science Malaysia, USM, and together is co-organized by the School of Pharmacies and the School of Medicines, Universitas Andalas UNAND, Indonesia. So as we know, the essential oil, plants, medicines, and health is now an important topic in healthcare in today's society. So recognizing their importance, a group of experts led by Associate Professor Dr. Dasuki Sulain from University Science Malaysia had organized last year in 2021 the national seminar entitled National Symposium of Essential Oils, Plants, Cosmetic and Health, or NASEPCO 2021 in short. So going further, the International Symposium will be organized in 2023 in collaborations with Universitas Andalas or UNAND, known as the International Symposium of Essential Oils, Plants, Cosmetic and Health, or ISEPCO 2023 in short. So before the International Symposium will be hosted, there are 3 series of webinars will be held this year in 2022 as an introductory and promoting strategy to attract participations to ISEPCO 2023. And the most important objective of the symposium is to generate ideas for joint research and collaborations between both universities, USM and UNAND. So the webinars will be conducted in rotations with UNAND, and we will have the same seminar like this again in August this year. So before we start our sessions, okay, I would like to call upon Dr. Insinyur Uyung Gatot Safrawi Dinata, the head of Institutes of Research and Community Services from UNAND, to give a welcoming remarks. Please welcome Dr. Uyung.
Baik, terima kasih. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bu Nur, saya akan sampaikan sambutan dari Pak Rektor Andalas dalam bahasa Indonesia ya. Mohon maaf, barusan tadi pagi beliau kontak saya untuk mewakili beliau, mewakili Pak Rektor untuk memberikan sambutan di acara yang berbahagia ini. Mohon izin Prof. Ros, Bu Nur Hida Natasha Abu Bakar.
Panggil saya saja Natasha, Dr.
Oh, ya. Siap, Prof. Saya berbahasa Indonesia saja ya, karena audiensnya adalah kita-kita saja antara Malaysia dan Indonesia. Beri janda, mohon izin. Bapak Ibu semuanya, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Salam sejahtera, salam sehat bagi kita semuanya. Hormati Bapak Ibu dari USM Malaysia, pejabat di lingkungan School of Health Science, University Science Malaysia. Di sini ada Ibu Profesor Rosmina juga, ya, Bapak Ibu semuanya yang tidak dapat kami sebutkan satu persatu. Dan yang hormati Ibu Efrida, Wakil Dekan 1 Fakultas Kedokteran Universitas Andalas, kemudian Ibu Rijanda, panitia nih yang mendorong kami untuk terlibat mendukung acara kita hari ini. Dan Bapak Ibu semuanya, para narasumber, ada Profesor Muhammad Dasuki Al-Ain. Selamat pagi Pak.
Selamat pagi Bapak.
Mudah-mudahan sehat selalu. Terima kasih menjadi narasumber kita hari ini sebagai pemateri acara webinar USM-UNAND webinar series dari USM. Kemudian Profesor Dedi Primaputra. Selamat pagi Pak. Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Dan sehat saja. Terima kasih Pak Dedi. Kemudian Ibu Dr. Gareni Akhir, PKK, konsulen. Selamat pagi Bu. Terima kasih juga sudah sedia menjadi narasumber hari ini. Dan pencerahannya nanti membawa banyak ide untuk riset dan pengembangan ke depannya di antara kedua universiti ini. Kemudian kepada Bapak Ibu semuanya, baik dari USM maupun dari Universitas Andalas, selamat pagi, salam sejahtera, mudah-mudahan kita dalam keadaan sehat walafiat. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim, kita ucapkan syukur kehadirat Allah SWT, kita diberi kesempatan dan juga kesehatan pada pagi hari ini. Kita bisa memulai kegiatan USM-UNAND webinar series dengan topik knowledge sharing on essential oil in medicine and health yang diselenggarakan tanggal 24 Mei 2022 hari Selasa ini. Kemudian salam serta salawat pada junjungan Nabi Muhammad SAW. Tidak lupa kita juga sampaikan untuk beliau, keluarga dan para sahabatnya. Bapak Ibu semuanya, saya tadi pagi diminta oleh Pak Rektor untuk mewakili beliau memberikan sambutan pada webinar series kali ini. Beliau menitipkan salam kepada kita semuanya, pada tim dari USM dan juga Universitas Dallas, kepada narasumber, ketiga narasumber, dan kepada kita semuanya. Beliau sangat gembira ada acara hari ini, webinar series, untuk memperkuat kerjasama bilateral kedua universiti, baik USM dan di Universitas Dallas, dan juga untuk meningkatkan kerjasama, terutama dalam riset dan pengembangan, yang tentu menjadi fungsi dari kedua universitas. Bapak Ibu, acara kita sangat penting, apalagi di Universitas Dallas, kolaborasi, kerjasama itu sangat intens digiatkan, diaktifkan agar kita tidak hanya sendirian melaksanakan berbagai riset dan pengembangan yang mungkin hasilnya tidak seberapa. Apabila dilaksanakan secara kolaborasi, sama mungkin dengan sholat berjamaah. Kalau sendiri-sendiri ya Pak Dedi, 1 tambah 1 itu 2. Jadi kalau kita sholat berjamaah, itu 1 tambah 1 sama dengan 27. Jadi mungkin semangat itu juga ada di semangat kolaborasi antara USM dan Universitas Andalas. Karena kita berharap dengan ada kolaborasi ini, banyak hal yang bisa dapat dilaksanakan, banyak hal yang bisa dihasilkan, dan banyak manfaat dapat kita peroleh, baik saat ini maupun ke depan. Kita sama-sama ingin menjadi perguruan tinggi yang bermanfaat bagi banyak pihak, banyak untuk masyarakat, negara, dan juga tentu reputasi perguruan tinggi juga ingin selalu ditingkatkan di tengah-tengah persaingan perguruan tinggi internasional. Jadi kami dari Universitas Dallas menyambut gembira acara webinar series dari USM dan UNAND ini. Semoga kegiatan ini tidak hanya berhenti di saat sekarang ini. Kami dari Institute for Research and Community Services, LPPM, yang mengelola berbagai riset dan community services dan juga innovation di Universitas Dallas sangat mendukung, dan juga kami berharap keaktifan daripada para dosen, para researcher, para peneliti untuk aktif melaksanakan penelitian, mengajukan berbagai proposal, melaksanakan penelitian dan juga melaksanakan publikasi, serta juga memberikan inovasi-inovasi dari hasil penelitian ini untuk kemaslahatan masyarakat banyak. Jadi dari pertemuan ini berharap banyak kami tidak berhenti, ada webinar series berikutnya yang akan bisa dilaksanakan bersama baik online maupun offline. Mudah-mudahan juga nanti kami bisa berkunjung ke USM secara offline melaksanakan webinar seminar seperti ini. Dan jika masih kalau belum memungkinkan itu kita melaksanakan secara webinar. Dan kami siap insya Allah mendukung kelanjutan riset-riset kerjasama ini. Jadi tidak hanya sekedar webinar series, tapi juga ada action, ada riset-riset yang dilaksanakan bersama USM dan UNAND untuk manfaat yang lebih besar dan juga untuk reputasi dari kedua perguruan tinggi secara internasional. Mungkin itu saja yang dapat kami sampaikan. Kami ucapkan banyak terima kasih pada pejabat-pejabat di USM, terutama dari School of Health Science, University Science Malaysia, dan juga kepada Fakultas Farmasi dan juga Fakultas Kedokteran, Universitas Andalas yang bersusah payah untuk menyelenggarakan acara yang sangat baik ini untuk kolaborasi kedua universitas di Malaysia dan Indonesia. Demikian kami dukung acara ini dan berikan semangat kepada kita semuanya untuk terus berkarya dan juga melaksanakan kolaborasi ini berkelanjutan. Terima kasih sekali lagi diucapkan, mohon maaf atas kekurangan. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
All right, so thank you, Dr. Uyong, for a very warm remarks. Your notes and remarks regarding the essential oils, plants, cosmetic, and health, especially helpful to stimulate research and collaborations between both universities, USM and UNAND. All right, so we have here in the house 3 esteemed speakers, Associate Professor Dr. Dasuki Sulain from USM, Professor Dr. Dedi Prima Putra from the School of Pharmacy UNAND, and Dr. Garinia Ahya from the School of Medicine UNAND. So more information about their biography and presentations will be announced by our lovely moderator, Professor Dr. Rizanda Mahmud from the School of Medicine UNAND, and Associate Professor Dr. Rosmina Muhammad from USM. So before we start our first sessions, I'd like you to open your camera and are ready for photography sessions.
Bisa dikasih aba-aba, Reza?
So get ready.
Okay, get ready, and would you please to open your camera because the photography session is going to start. Okay, let's start from the first page. 1, 2, 3. Once more. 1, 2, 3. We move to the next page. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, once more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cameraman. So thank you for your cooperation. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I will pass the mic to our lovely moderator, Professor Dr. Rizanda Mahmud, to chair our first sessions.
Thank you, Dr. Natasha. Very good morning, the honorable speakers, distinguished guests, professor. We have a lot of professor here, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rizanda Mahmud, and I will be moderating this first session on the USM-UNAND webinar series, Knowledge Sharing on Essential Oil in Medicine and Health session. The presenter for this session is Dr. Muhammad Dasuki Sulaim. First and foremost, this talk actually is like an introduction to essential oils. Dr. Dasuki will explain essential oils, part of plants that will produce essential oils, and uses essential oils in aromatherapy. It also covers the process of collecting essential oils and examples of essential oil producing plants. Moreover, it also will touch on the latest scientific finding on 3 selected essential oil and the uses products of essential oils nowadays. Before we begin, I have a few housekeeping notes that today's session is being recorded to be available for viewing post-conference. If you have questions for the presenter, you may raise your hand. You can also submit a question via the chat feature on the conference platform. Please keep yourself muted during the presentation, and the presenter will have a total of 20 minutes for the presentation. We will hold most questions until the end of the session, and I will then read questions out loud for the presenters to answer as time permits. Before the presentation begins, allow me to introduce the presenter, Dr. Muhammad Dasuki Sulaim, an associate professor at School of Health Sciences, University Science Malaysia. He received his master's degree in science biology, PhD in pharmacology and toxicology from University Science Malaysia in 2007. He is the chairman of Persatuan Kaki Tangan Science and is also a member of Malaysia Society of Toxicology, the Malaysian Society of Pharmacology and Physiology, and the Malaysia Natural Product Society. He has published more than 40 publications, the local and international journals, and reviewed more than 10 national and international journals. He also won many prestigious awards at the local and international levels, created 4 intellectual properties, and successfully commercialized 1 product using essential oils. And his current research is focusing on the preclinical evaluation of the safety and efficacy of juput oil in animal models, minyak kayu putih ya. Without further ado, I would like to welcome the presenter to deliver the presentation. All right, Dr. Dasuki, the floor is yours.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrahli sadri wa yassirli amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amin. Amin amin rabbal alamin. Thank you, Professor Dr. Rizanda Mahmud from UNAND as moderator. Respected guests, Mr. Uyung Gatot, LPPM, UNAD, Professor, Assistant Professor, Doctor, Lecturer, Technical Staff, Ibu-ibu, Bapak-bapak, and all my fellow friends. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning for everyone. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate Professor Dr. Rosminah Muhammad and organizing committee for inviting me as a speaker for first USM-UNAND webinar series 2022. This is the title of my presentation is about introduction to essential oil, its potential in research. And then this is an overview of my talks. I will touch about introduction, means we'll elaborate what is aromatherapy and also history of aromatherapy. First point, I will also explain what is essential oil. Actually, in Malaysia, normally known as minyak pati or minyak pati semula jadi, and in Indonesia, it is known as minyak asiri. Okay, and then the second chapter is related to the source where we can collect it, and also the process of extraction of essential oil and how EO acts. And then the third is related to scientific research of EO, usage of EO. Last but not least, I also will elaborate about USM-UNAND collaboration, and I will end my presentation with the conclusions. Okay, and then actually, I strongly believe that we will more successful if we work in teams or groups like USM and UNAND collaborations. So for introduction, I will explain what is aromatherapy. Aromatherapy actually comes from two words. The first word is aroma, means the smell from aromatic plants, whereas therapy is a medication or treatments or approach or techniques for a recovering process. And then the first scientist who introduced aromatherapy was really Maurice Gatefort, which is one of the chemists from France in 1930s. He studied about lavender to treat wound healing. And I also admire the words from Valerie Crossley. She said that aromatherapy is the skill and controlled use of essential oil for physical and emotional health and well-being. That means the person who would like to practice aromatherapy should have a skill and able to control the amount of essential oil itself. So next, as we know, in Islamic civilization, the first person who wrote about medicinal plant was Avicenna or Ibn Sina in 11th century with his book Canum Field Tips or Canons of Medicine. He created a distillation machine for extracting rose flower. And we also practice in aromatherapy in Malay culture. We also use flower bathing and also lime bathing practice that we believe it will help our enlighten our face and also increase freshness. Other than that, the benefits of EO smell acts actively and can act as a booster for positive internal energy. So in other civilization, such as old Egyptian, more than 6,000 years ago, Imhotep or Dukun or Pawang or Momo in Malaysia and also in Indonesia, they use EO for bathing and also massaging. EO were used as medicine, cosmetic, and also preservation. So examples, they use EO, myrrh, and cedarwood for mummy preservations. Okay, about essential oil. This is an old definition by Hunter, 1996. EO is a volatile oil which obtained from a wide variety of the plants, tree species, and also plant such as roots, rhizome, wood, bark, leaves, stem, fruits, flower, and seeds, usually extracted by hydro or steam distillation, expression, or effleurage. So for essential oil is a viscous material extracted from the plant, and its EO has low molecular weight and is highly volatile. And then if we compare with the vegetable oil vegetable oil such as corn, olive oil, virgin coconut oil, which have a high molecular weight and not volatile. And this vegetable oil, or also we call it as a carrier oil. We can add together with essential oil. But not all plants contain essential oil, and it will evaporate easily when exposed to air. Here we have a few examples of essential oil, such as lavender. We have lemongrass. In lavender, there are two types of lavender, such as lavender augustifolia and also lavender latifolia. We have lemongrass or serang makan. We have Cyberpogon nardus or serawangi. We have peppermint. We have sandalwood or cendana. We have kajaput oil from Melaleuca kajuputi, and citrus like orange or lemons. And as we know, in essential oil, actually there are two types of metabolites, or primary metabolite and also secondary metabolites. The most important in essential oil is a secondary metabolite, such as a terpene, terpenoid, ester, aldehydes, ketone, carboxylic acid, and also sulfur. And of course, we know that in terpene there are three important chemicals, which is monoterpenes with carbon 10, cis-terpene, carbon 15, and diterpene, carbon 20. So I'm sure that in detail about chemicals in essential oil will be presented by my colleague from UNAND, Professor Dedi. I hope Professor Dedi will explain detail about the chemical compound in essential oil. And then next, okay, if you look at this slide shows the common part of the plant with essential oil. So we have here clove or Cesium aromaticum or bunga cengkeh, and I'm sure that in Indonesia, maybe the largest export source of export of Indonesia, and then we from stem and twigs, and the active compound in clove is eugenol. And then if you look at the cinnamon or kulit kayu manis, we have from the bark. Scientific name is Cinnamon cynagenesis, maybe from Senegal. I'm not sure about that. And then we have citrusistic, or locally known as daun lima purut. Okay. Citrusistic from the leaf. Okay, then we have ilang-ilang or kenanga, which is in yellow in color, and then for flower, and then we have also jasmine or melon, which is white in color, and berries and bergamot and others. However, geraniums, lavender, and rosemary, we can get EO from entire plants. Ladies and gentlemen, ibu-ibu, bapak-bapak sekalian, now we move to the plant producing EO. So as we know, Malaysia and Indonesia have abundance of natural resources and have a lot of plants can be produced EO. Both are rich with biodiversity, and Malaysia as number 12 in the world, rich with biodiversity. Here, there are lists of 50 plants that producing EO from 250 plants. Among the plants are black pepper. The scientific name is Pepper nigrum or lada hitam. We have clove, we have eucalyptus, frankincense, ginger, lemon, lemongrass, peppermint, and etc. So EO actually we can mix up to five smells, but most important of EO is the finest smell is good and we like it. Okay, in order to collect or to get essential oil, we have to do extraction process. So there are multiple techniques to extract essential oil. 6 conventional techniques or methods includes water distillation, steam distillation, effleuration, maceration, solvent extraction, hand extraction or instant extraction. And we have 3 more advanced techniques such as supercritical extraction, subcritical extraction, and solvent-free extraction. And for solvent extraction, involve the use of ethanol, methanol, hexane, betaine, and also acetone. So from these 6 conventional extraction, I will focus only 2 techniques. The first one is water distillation, because this or we call it also as hydrodistillation. This technique actually cheap and easy techniques, which plant also in hot water, and then hot water help break down oil sacs, and then this volatile oil molecule are released and evaporates into vapor, and then the vapor is cooled by condenser, and EO and hydrosol can be collected at the collector. In the lab, we use stall distillation, but this technique is suitable for flower and herbs in powder form. So next we move to second method, which is steam distillation. It is the most popular techniques in EO industry, where plants are passed with hot steam to release aromatic molecule from the plant, and the end products are essential oil and also hydrosol. Hydrosol is a water-based product made from distillation of fresh flower, leaf, fruit, and other plant materials. And the most important, this liquid also contains microscopic drop of essential oil. These are the systemic diagram for steam distillation machine, and we can collect EO at the collector, EO at the top of the layer, whereas hydrosol at the bottom of the collector, or below the layer under EO. And in USM, actually, we have our own innovation machines known as USM Permi-Herb machines. Okay, next we move to how, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very critical part to understand how EO acts to our body. EO can enter our body via vials 2-way. The first one via lungs and also the skin. Lung basically by inhalation, and skin by topical application. So when inhale, EO molecule arrives to the lung via the alveoli, and EO travel through the body to the bloodstream and has a feeling effects. The effects of EO stimulate the limbic system and the emotional control of the brain, which work to control moods, control feelings, heart rate, and etc. Whereas for the skin, actually EO is easily absorbed via skin after being applied to the skin, and small molecule of EO will pass through the hair follicle, sweat gland, and outer layer under the skin to the inside. EO enter the bloodstream or limbs and tissue fluids and other part of the body and giving healing processes. So for your information, in Malaysia, actually we have 2 research centers that play an important role for essential oil research and also commercialization, known as MARDI, or Malaysia Agriculture Research Development Institute, and PRIM, Forest Research Institute of Malaysia. And basically they focus on research and commercialization for plants like lemongrass, citronella, patchouli, rose oil, and etc. So for this session, I like to share with you 3 common EO in our regions and their property or medicinal value. So we have a lemongrass or seram makan. in common name, and scientific name is Cybopogon citritus. We have kaffir or citrus histics or pokok limau purut, and we have kajiput oil or Melaleuca kajupati or pokok gelam. In my hometown, actually, this plant known as gelam tikus. And all these plants actually abundant in Southeast Asia, especially Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Myanmar, and also etc. So for lemongrass, we know that there are a lot of research has been done for these plants. We know that the therapeutic use of lemongrass as anti-malaria activity reported by many researchers, hypocholesтерemic effects by Santos et al. 2011, antifungal activity, anti-amiabic activity, free radical scavengers, antioxidant effects, and also antibacterial activity. And then other than that, lemongrass also have been claimed to have analgesics, antidepressant, anxiolytics, anti-inflammatory, and etc. Next, we move to kaffir or pokok limau purut. So this slide show many therapeutic value of kaffir, including antimicrobials, antidepressant, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, possess anticidal property, antioxidant, and also anti-cancer properties reported by many researchers. So next we move to kajuput oil. Okay, for kajuput oil or Melaleuca kajupati, the essential oil that I am interested in most. Locally in Malaysia, we know as kayu putih. We have also a kayu putih at other countries, such as at Australia, they have Eucalyptus. We have pokok gelam or gelam tikus in Malaysia. So there are many therapeutic values of MCO, including repellent activity, analgesics, antiseptics, antimicrobials, antispasmodics, antineurologics. Other than that, in our previous research, we found that MCO or Melaleuca kajupati essential oil poses a significant antidepressant effect at a lower dose of 1% in immobilized stress-induced mice. Okay.
Dr. Dasuki, you have 5 minutes left.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Rizanda. Okay. So next we move to the use of essential oil. We know that EO not only used in traditional and modern medicine for treating coarse toothpaste as a mouth cleaner and also massage oil, but it also has been used in food industry such as food flavor, smell like peppermint in sweet, clove oil and cinnamon in soft drinks. It also has been used in perfume industry and also cosmetic industry for freshener detergent, bathing liquids, aromatherapy, massage oil, and etc. So next, we move to the products from EO that are available in our markets. So for lemongrass, kaffir, and kajuput oil, there are a lot of products in the market using these three EO as shown in this slide. Example of product includes baby oil, hair wash, we have shampoo, we have candy, aroma oil, balm, soap, and etc. So last but not least, I would like to share with you about USM-UNAND collaborations. In USM, as mentioned by MC, USM QSET group or Quality, Safety, and Efficacy Test Group did a first NESAPCOS National Symposium of Essential Oil in August 2021. And we plan for this year to have first workshop and application of essential oil in soap and perfume in August 2022. And we call it as BAMIX or Bengkel Aplikasi Minyak Pati Semula Jadi. And then for sure, we will have three more webinar series before we continue with our main event for next year for first and international symposium of essential oil, plant, cosmetic, and health in 2023. Okay, so as a conclusion, actually I strongly believe that EO provide a wide field to be explored, and it can be used as alternative integrative treatment to treat various diseases. And although the ability to treat diseases is often questioned compared to modern medicine, but its nutrient or therapeutic property remain effective. We also believe that EO can be used to treat many diseases such as skin problem, insomnia, inflammatory, anxiolytics, stress, depression, dizziness, which have been scientifically proven, and it is huge to be developed, because we know that Malaysia and Indonesia are rich with the natural resources as mentioned previously. So here is a part of my references. With that, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for that excellent presentation, Dr. Dasuki. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question for Dr. Dasuki, you may raise your hand and I will call on you to ask question. Turn on your microphone, please identify yourself and ask the presenter out loud. If you are not asking a question, please keep yourself muted. You can also submit a question via the chat feature on the conference platform. Please add your question in the chat and we'll be able to answer some of them during the Q&A at the end. Do not forget to fill in the presentation and feedback link. And also for in Malaysia, you have like a point, yeah. So the committee from USM can put the link in the chat platform. And the presentation and feedback link, that the e-certificate will be delivered to your email. Any question we can get to can be answered in the chat feature in the conference platform for this session, or you can connect with the speaker one-on-one through a private message. Okay, please, welcome. Maybe the committee can put the link of presentation, yeah. Is there any question?
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Sounds
Hi.
good. Christine.
Yeah. Yes, my name is Christine. I'm from USM. I have a question for Dr. Dasuki. Just now you mentioned that the kajput oil, is a repellent. Can I know what does it repel?
Sorry, pardon, can you repeat?
Okay, Dr. Dasuki,
Yes.
kajput oil, what can it repel? One of the properties is repellent. So is it a pest repellent or?
Okay, yeah. Okay, because actually from kajput oil we have multiple compounds, and then there are a research by a few researchers that kajput oil can act as an insect repellent. Can you be used as a insect repellent? That means from this kajput oil, insect hate the smell of kajput oil. That's why it can be used as a insect repellent. Is it answer your question?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so it only repels insects. I have a second question if you don't mind.
I don't mind, no problem.
Yeah.
Can ask
Because
question.
my area has a lot of cats. Okay.
Cat.
Cats, yeah.
Okay.
And they come into my area, you know. And even my mom has to put up, like, you know, the wire netting and all to prevent them.
Okay.
We heard of some plants, they repel cats, but they are toxic. That means if cats eat them, then, you know, they could die or they could fall very ill. Are there any essential oils or plants that can just keep the cats away?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, a good question. Actually, I have an experience, you know, but this one for beneficial of essential oil. Last time I have a student, you know, a student that asked me for advice. You know, they have a certain disease related, maybe cirrhosis on the cat, and then we try to use essential oil. If I'm not mistaken, is what we call it, that essential oil, a specific essential oil. We try for different duration, and you know, at the surface of the skin problem. At the end, they successfully, you know, recover from that disease. So according to the effects of essential oil, for example, for eating, of course, it is not recommended to eat or to inhale or not to take orally essential oil, because certain time we have to have an advice from the doctor or aromatherapist. That's the most important. And then you know, about the plant that, you know, can be used as you know, to make sure the cat run away from that smell. I'm not sure about that, because we have many many essential oil. But the most important, in order to use essential oil, we have to use a common essential oil. And we can mix together a few smell of essential oil. Start from two type of essential oil. The certain smell we cannot mix together, but certain smell we cannot mix each other. That's the most important. And for your question, I think I can't answer you, because, you know, based on it should be a research, you know, in order to know that certain essential oil can help you to avoid from the cat lah. Okay, hope to answer your question. Is it okay, Christy?
Christy? Okay. Due to the time, yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Dasuki. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And in the chat, maybe you can. Hello.
Chat. Okay, wait. Chat.
Okay. Dr. Dasuki.
Wait, huh?
Yeah. Due to the time limit, we have finished our session, and we go through.
Okay. I try to answer the first question first. Excellent presentation. Okay. My question: do you have any clinical research on human by you? Okay. About human clinical research. Actually, in USM, actually, very difficult to get grant. Actually, the most important, very difficult to get grant, because for your information, I already applied for almost 3 times to get grant for essential oil, especially for FRGS. You know, but last time we have you know, incentive grant from USM, and then we can do a research on preclinical works. basically, in order to get, to do a clinical research, we have to make sure that that essential oil are safe first, and it have, have effects and also have efficacy effects, and then we can move to the clinical trial. Before we move to the clinical trial, we have to confirm with the preclinical trial first, and our works in preclinical trial have to be published in a good journal in order to do a clinical research. And then in order to get or to do a clinical research, we have to invite the person in or expert in human trial. Of course, we need a doctor in order to use essential oil. Hope I can answer that your question. Till now, I don't have any clinical research using EO. It is safe for baby, especially one absorbed into the skin. Okay. Okay. For your information, there are certain essential oil can be used straight away to the skin, but it's not recommended for baby and also for adult. It is safe for baby. A certain time in the usage of essential oil, we have to use carrier oil. We have to add on carrier oil in order to use it. We cannot use straight away. As I know, only lavender can be used straight away to the skin, but not for baby. Maybe only for adults, because there are a trial by Rini Maurice Getefo that that lavender oil can be used to treat what you call it, use for what we call it as a wound healing. Okay. Okay. Hope answer your question.
Yeah. We have to finish this session, Dr. Dasuki.
Okay.
Yeah, due to the time. So we would like to say thanks again to the presenter for the informative and interesting talk, and to the audience for the attending this session and active participation. Hopefully that the presentation will be beneficial for everybody. Enjoy the rest of the USM-UNAND webinar series, Knowledge Sharing on Essential Oil in Medicine and Health. Good day. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dr. Natasha.
Yes, thank you, Professor Zanda, for sharing the sessions. So I admit that the introductory talks by Dr. Dasuki on the use of essential oils such as kajaput oils in aromatherapy is very interesting. And if you all would like to explore more, please leave your email address and question it in chat box. And I know that Dr. Dasuki will be happy to answer your questions at a later date and time. So next, we will move on. We will continue our second session, and I will pass the mic to our lovely moderator, Associate Professor, Dr. Rosmina, to chair the next sessions. Here you are, Dr. Rosmina.
Okay, thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, my dear colleagues, Dr. Natasha, and to Prof. Razanda for a great moderating. Assalamualaikum and good morning to our distinguished guests from UNAD and USM, and all participants from Malaysia, Indonesia, and other countries, if any. My name is AP Dr. Rosmina Muhammad, a senior lecturer and health economic consultant. Will be moderating the next two sessions, the next two presentation as scheduled in this webinar. Thank you for being here with us today. After listening to the introduction of essential oil and its potential in research delivered by AP Dr. Dasuki, we may want to know a bit more info of its application in life. This information will be delivered by Professor Dr. Dedi Primaputra. Before we get started, I want to take a few minutes to summarize the lengthy CV of Prof. Dedi. He is currently attached to the Faculty of Pharmacy, Universitas Andalas, Padang, Indonesia. His expertise in academic, as an academic and researcher, many of his research works in his expert area, which is natural materials chemistry or phytochemistry, had been published in several national and international journals. Administratively, he was a rector of Andalas Dharma University. Without further ado, my pleasure to invite Professor Dr. Dedi Primaputra to share with us 20 minutes knowledge sharing entitled Complementary and Alternative Medicine Treatment for Psoriasis and Atopic Dermatitis. Please welcome Prof. Dedi. The session is yours.
Thank you, Prof. Rosima. Please help me, Dr. Rizanda, Prof. Rizanda. My PPT is okay?
Okay. I just receive your baru terima. Ini sebentar, Pak. Presentasi sedang dibuat.
Waiting for my presentation. I would like to say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who always given help and blessing and salvation for all of us, so that we can to be here attending USM-UNAND webinar series. My salawat and salam for our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who always give goodness in the world. Thank you for MC and moderator, Prof. Rosima, for your nice introduction, and our guests, distinguished guests, and people in the Zoom webinar. We're still waiting for my PPT.
Belum.
So still working. Is this okay, or I try my mine? So, can you see my presentation, please?
Yes, we can see that.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. So I would like to give my contribution for a small talking about what we discussed before about complementary and alternative medicine treatment for psoriasis, and atopic dermatitis, especially for research on essential oil. Now, my outline presentation is about introductions. Maybe Dr. Dasuki have already talked about that, about essential oil and its use, source and classification, and how to obtain essential oil, utilization of essential oil on complementary alternative medicine, then talking about a little bit about psoriasis and atopic And Dr. Garnia in the last session will talk a lot about more about this. And some example how essential oil can cure psoriasis and atopic dermatitis, and 1 or 2 reported mechanism, and then my finish with conclusion. A little bit difference, maybe some addition about the definition of essential oil. Normally, as Dr. Dazuki say, essential oil is a natural oil typically obtained by distillation and having characteristic fragrance of the plant and or other source from which is extracted. This is a definition by Wikipedia. And from dictionary Merriam-Webster, the definition is any of class of volatile oil that give plant their characteristic odor, and they are used especially in perfume, flavoring, and for aromatherapy. Not mentioned utilization in medicine. So this will be a good discussion today. The possibility utilization of essential oil for many cases in medicine. And the last one, definition of essential oil is about plant essential oil, mainly into 2 distinct chemical classes, terpenoid and phenylpropanoid. What we call it a group of terpenoid. And if we look about the opportunity of essential oil is very vast. We can find it web pharma info net is about utilization in insecticide, in industry, motor, paint, petroleum, toiletry, textile, and also in paper and printing industry, adhesive, tobacco industry, food and beverage, and dental preparation. And also we will discuss more about maybe in utilization of essentially in cosmetic and medicinal or pharmaceutical preparation. As mentioned by Dr. Dazuki before, source of essential oil and classification, we can look from Indonesian biodiversity. It is reported around 160 and 200 species from plant containing essential oil. 40 species already commercially available, and 12 essential oil from Indonesia has been exported, and in the world is already in the market is around 80 essential oil type. By fragrant note, we can recall there is 3 different classification. We call about the perfumery. The first one is a top note. It means the scents are perceived immediately and easily to evaporate. And middle note is the scent of perfume emerge just prior and the top note dissipate. The middle compound is what we call it the heart of main body of perfume. This mask often unpleasant initial impression, but the after we can smell a pleasant with the time. More and more the first essential evaporate, the last one is very interesting. And for the base note, dry note, is the scent of perfume that appear to close to the part to a middle note. So this is the deep smell, and what we call it, the smell is long lasting. Usually after half an hour application, we still smell the essential oil very high price, because sometimes it's used for fixative to keep the perfume last in our skin. Now we can look about the classification of 3 note before. For example of top note, lemon, pineapple, melon is citrus, can be classified as top not essential oil, because it's when the essential oil touch our skin and it's readily evaporate, so it's cannot stand for a long time in our skin. And for the heart knot, for example, jasmine is more time to eliminate, to disappear from our skin. And the last one, we can look raspberry, violet root, peach, blackberry is also classified as the best knot. And we look structure and connecting with odor. We must look from variety of essential oil, from bark, for example, sandalwood, from root, vetiver, from the leaf, for example, patchouli, flower, for example, clovewood. It is by chemically or organic structure, little different of structure will different of odor. And the small change in structure may change intensity of an odor by several other magnitude. And this is other classification, sometime in the market or in the professional utilization of perfumery. We can hear about essential oil called fruity, general odor of food, floral, it's the sense of flower, fatty is a sense of animal fat and tallow, and citrus, fresh odor from citrus, balsamic, for example, heavy sweet odor like cinnamon, cacao, and vanilla, and like earthy, they smell like humus, and like we smell the soil. This is the classification of 6 classification by odor description. And also there is a more wide variety of classification. The description of odor about woody, it is the smell like sandalwood, yeah, waxy smell like you see the dimension. Please move this window, no, Prof. Rezima, or my screen, or see, it's okay, this disappear. Waxy is smell like candlewood, spicy general odor spices, resinous odor like resin, powdery like talcum, mossy like smell of forest and seaweed, mint, peppermint, metallic like surface of metal, herbaceous like herb, and green typical odor of grass have been cut and the leaf. And this may be repeating by Dr. Tasuki explained, obtaining essential oil by steam distillation, solvent extraction, the advanced technology by carbon liquid extraction, inflorescence, and also by mechanical pressure. We can use hand, or we can use the pressure machine. And now we can talk about the essential talking today, how the use of essential oil on complementary alternative medicine. First of all, we must understand what is complementary and alternative medicine. And we look by define WHO we define, it's defined by a broad set of healthcare practice. So I bought healthcare practice, and they are not part of that country own tradition or conventional. There is two definition. Yeah, the healthcare practice owned by respective country, we call it traditional medicine. But if utilized by other country, we can call is complementary alternative medicine. This is the first definition. And the second definition is different from the conventional medicine. So the modern medicine vis-a-vis with conventional medicine. And secondly, is not integrated into healthcare system. Now, by this definition, we can understand the complementary alternative medicine have two main idea: the knowledge, the practice from other country, and also the practice that not use the modern knowledge and science, but the knowledge have transfer from the old day to the today. We know already, as explained by Daisuke, essential oil on complementary until now, mostly on aromatherapy, using for massages, diffuses, beds, and etc. And many research review about this. Until now, very little about the experience or research about the utilization of essential oil for the medicine. And this is why in Indonesia, our Minister of Health push to encourage and to accelerate how to use the essential oil in healthcare system. Maybe this caused by the complexity of the extract, the compound from material of essential oil containing thousand or hundred of chemical, and some of them contain a major compound. And I would like to try. It's not my specialty. Maybe Dr. Gardenian explained, but I try to keep my what we call data mining or learning about psoriasis and atopic dermatitis, because I must deliver connecting utilization of essential oil with the skin illness, especially for psoriasis and atopic dermatitis. Now, for psoriasis, we found is a non-communicable disease. It's common, chronic, and until now, no clear cause or cure. However, the negative impact for people is life is immense, because it affects all age, prevalence in the world between 0.09 and 11% from the population. The symptom always what what we find in literature, itching in the skin, reported 92%. The symptom people have psoriasis is itching, scaling also. Scaling 92%, itching 72%, erythema 69%, and fatigue 27%, swelling 23%, burning sensation 20%, and bleeding around 20% individual. So when people have a serious disease about psoriasis, their daily life will affected. And we can look for the psoriasis arthritis about the joint of hands is very unpleasant, and also nail psoriasis, sometimes infected by fungus candida, is very not attractive to look. And secondly, about atopic dermatitis or eczema, is a chronic relapsing dermatitis that typically shown up during infancy and early childhood. The older people can affect it also. There is about 5 and 20% of childhood population around the world will often have a atopic dermatitis. The cause of atopic dermatitis is very large. First, maybe from a family history, impaired skin barrier, imbalanced system, nutrition, immune dysfunction, environmental population, excessive migraine, and also stress. So someone, our baby or our child have atopic dermatitis. So many conditions we must look about the environment of our life. And we look utilization of essential oil on psoriasis. Commonly, only to reduce discomfort, such as itchy pain, uncomfortable patch of psoriasis. For example, some of essential oil used for aromatherapy connecting to skin condition is geranium oil, because reported it can improve circulation and reduce inflammation. And then peppermint is reduce itching and pain. Black cumin have anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and antifungal. And coconut oil maybe as adjuvant is not an essential oil, but often used to ease psoriasis pain. Maybe our skin containing more lipid and barrier, yeah, and protein, so it can reduce scalp psoriasis and moisturize our skin. From research at medicinal, we found the research conducting by Sizing et al. 2022, they found Zingiber montanum exhibit antifungal activity, and this plant used for traditional for skin illness. And interestingly, psoriasis is connected sometimes with the fungal infection, for example, Candida. So in the future, it is interesting for us when we find essential oil containing such compound zerumbon in Zingiber montanum could healing psoriasis symptom connecting with Candida infection. So this may be the research connecting two compound, one of ameliorate condition dari psoriasis, while the psoriasis is co-infected by bacteria or fungal. We find Baxi et al. Already make a comprehensive review. The topical therapy he summarized many way have been published, and his review talk about the best. Okay, 1 minute more.
Excuse me, Prof. Dedi, your time is finished.
Okay.
Okay, I give you another 1 minute to complete.
Okay, corticosteroid. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, atopic dermatitis condition make your skin red and itchy. In this, the main idea anti-inflammatory can help people have atopic dermatitis, and some of plant oil can use it. For example, elemol containing in Chamae cripa upusta ameliorate by reduced serum IgA, and we can find elemol also find in several plants. So variety compound, if we look, we can find also the major source of elemol from Discorea, for example, as the candidate of the source of elemol to treat atopic dermatitis, and we can get another research on that. The last one, we must concern about utilization of AO, because 5.8% can induce eczema. So I would like to say conclusion, we must explore plant containing essential oil and needed studies further to allow us better understanding mechanism of AO. Some findings such as anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antifungal content is promising. Careful use essential oil and consultation with dermatologists are important. Thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you, Prof. Dedi. Thank you, Prof. Dedi. It's very interesting topic, and it seems like never-ending story there. Okay, perhaps we're going to have another session for this knowledge sharing webinar for next time. Okay, now I open for Q&A from the participant. I give you 3 minutes for Q&A. Anyone? Or maybe you can post in the chat box for us to read. Anyone who want to ask Prof. Dedi? Pertaining the very
I have one in chat.
Oh yeah, okay.
Can I answer? Okay.
Yes, yeah, please do.
This from our colleagues, Professor Dazuki. Thank you very much for your kind question. I can read it. How to integrate the therapeutic value of essential oil in modern medicine in Indonesia? Frankly speaking, we find in some meta-analysis, all of them say need safety. Need safety when we use essential oil on modern medicine. So it is a clinical study and preclinical study. First of all, must be elaborate, and the problem is when the compound is complex. So mechanism of the utilization of AO and connecting to mechanism is very difficult, because the result of the complexity receptor of such each for compound is very difficult for establish. Maybe by utilization of docking and receptor, we can estimate by experimenting in animal model, or the clinical study is very careful too. But by technology at the moment, we can enrich essential oil containing 1 or 2 substances. For example, by technology filtration molecular, at the moment we can find what we call it essential oil standardized. One mixture, but we have majority from Pharmacopoeia Indonesia, for example, Pharmacopoeia Herbal Indonesia, we can call the extract standardized. For example, containing a substance more than 90%, and then we can establish the mechanism. So that by using this method, we can have in the future the mechanism for the particular compound we can use for in modern medicine. So if not, we can also always talk about the result of the mixture of the phenomena when someone have the amelioration of their condition. So this may be my answer, Dr. Zadruski. Maybe have you will understand what I give an answer.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Dedi. It's excellent answer.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. Dedi, for your excellent and very interesting presentation. Yeah, it is very informative here for those who are new in essential oil and the related issues. Okay, so I think I can allow more questions. Should anyone want to ask Prof. Dedi, please do so at the chat box, and perhaps you may want to contact Prof. Dedi personally. You may do so, inshallah. So Prof. Dedi will entertain you. Okay.
Prof, ada second question from Subasi.
we have limited
just 1 minute.
time now.
Just 1 minute, maybe.
We have limited time.
Can I? Oh, maybe I answer by writing.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think so.
you.
That's a good idea.
Thank you.
Because I don't want to delay time, you know, everyone is busy. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you very much, Prof. Dedi, for your presentation. And now I would like to move to our next speaker, Dr. Gardenia Ahyar. She is the dermatologist at M. Jamil Hospital, Padang. Currently, she is also the chief of allergy immunology division, dermatology department of medical faculty Andalas University. Appropriately related to her expertise, she's going to share with us an interesting topic, I suppose, entitled the potential role of essential oil as anti-inflammation agent in dermatology. So please welcome, the session is yours, Dr. Gade.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my presentation. My respect for previous speaker, and thank you, moderator, Prof. Rosmina, for introducing me. It's an honor to be able to speak here today in front of all of you. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the potential role of essential oil as anti-inflammation agent in dermatology. I'll share my presentation. Okay, can you see my slide, Rosmina?
Yeah, I can see that very clearly. Yeah, thank you.
Better for you to unmask, Dr. Neni.
Oh. Okay. I'm going to focus on three main points in this my presentation. The first is the role of essential oil in health medicine. The second, we will look at the pathogenesis of inflammation. And the last, I'll show you the study and result of essential oil plant as anti-inflammation drug for skin disease. I'll confine only on some plants that easy to find in Indonesia or in Malaysia. Okay, sorry. First, I'd like to tell you about essential oil. As the previous speaker explained, that some type of plants can be processed in advance to produce oil with a distinct aroma and can be used directly or by derivative products. Essential oil is currently in the spotlight of the body care industry because it's not only able to nourish the skin well, but also ultrasonic, fast, and easily absorbed. As you can see on this chart, it shows position of essential oil in the market. Essential oil market size estimated to reach more than $16 billion by 2026. It is a big amount of money that can attract many industry and pharmacies. Next graphic shows that market of demand of essential oil worldwide from 2018 to 2025. It shows that demand trend to increase by the year. And the last graphic show that variety of component of essential oil in US market, where the orange and citronella are the most common component in essential oil in US oil market. In recent years, the use of botanical derived products and natural ingredient remedies as alternative treatment has been increasingly popular. One study reported as many as 20 to 60 of adults and up to 70% of 30 to 40 years old patients report having used an herbal product, and a study in Italy reported the increased curiosity about alternative remedies and desire for alternative treatment. Botanicals are not only used topical in cosmetic, but furthermore, there are data suggesting that botanical provide antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antifungal, sun blocking, and it also has wound healing abilities. Essential oil itself has many components. It's among its main components, the terpenoid and phenylpropanoids are the component that responsible for giving the medicinal properties. Even though essential oil made from plants or herbal doesn't make it 100% safe. Typically, essential oil is safe as long as used with base oil such as coconut oil, almond oil, olive oil, grapeseed oil, etc. Here we can see the potential essential oil as a drug. Essential oil has ability as anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, neuroprotectant, hepatoprotective, cardioprotective, anti-hyperpigmentation, antiviral, antimicrobial, anti-diabetic, and even it also has anti-cancer ability. Here we present the potential role of essential oil in health. I see also the Prof. Dedi also has showed this slide before, where the anti-inflammatory effect of essential oil is due to its compound, polyphenolic compound, triterpenes, linoleic acid, and phospholipid. And in this slide, I show the graphic of dermatological condition in which essential oil are used. We can see that general skin maintenance is the most common condition where essential oils are used. Inflammatory condition has a big portion as much as acne-related condition, followed by bacterial infection. Next, we will talk about inflammation. Inflammation is a complex immune response to defend against various pathogens, toxic compound, and environmental stress factor, but excessive inflammation is harmful to the host. In addition, the self-damage caused by inflammation is inevitable, and if it cannot be resolved in time, it will lead to the pathological condition. If the inflammation subsides insufficiently or the stimulation persists, it may lead to the continuous activation of immune cells and damage the health of the body. Non-steroid and glucocorticoid drugs are mainly used to treat inflammation. However, they have many adverse reactions and are not suitable for long-term use. So there is a hope of essential oil that can replace the non-steroid and glucocorticoid as a drug for inflammation. Here we can see the pathway of inflammation. As we can see, there are many pathways that involve in inflammation. Each pathway can trigger by different pathways, where each enzyme that involved can be evaluated to measure the severity of inflammation. We can, any enzyme we can measure in every disease. It's depend on the trigger or the pathogen or the trauma that involve the skin. This is another pathway of inflammation. It called as COX-induced inflammation pathway, where the process begins with the phospholipase process of membrane phospholipid, which turn into arachidonic acid, where then arachidonic acid going through two different paths, which are COX with final process synthesis of prostaglandin and thromboxane, and another path is LOX with the final process is synthesis of lipoxin and leukotriene B, leukotriene C, D, and E. So that's cover everything I want to talk about inflammation pathogenesis. Now I'll talk about some plants that has studied and proved has anti-inflammation ability in skin disease. And as I mentioned before, that I limited the plants only on some plants that are available and grow naturally in Malaysia and Indonesia, and the plants or herbs that can easy to find. The first is citral or lemon essential oil. In folk medicine, citral used as an antipyretic, anti-inflammatory, sedative, antitoxic, antiseptic, diuretic, and eupeptic effect. The component of citrus essential oil can be extracted from peels of citrus fruit and are a complex mixture of volatile compound. The component of citrus peel essential oil are monoterpene hydrocarbons, sesquiterpene hydrocarbon, and oxygenated monoterpenes and oxygenated sesquiterpenes. That these all component has shown benefit for the human health. I just pass this slide. Here I resume the citral essential oil study, where the first author, Helen Braga et al., has reported that citral essential oil can act as modulator of the immune system by decreasing cellular migration and the production of pro-inflammatory cytokine and decrease the TNF-alpha level. Other authors also reported that essential oil of citral has anti-inflammation effect through different mechanisms. They reported that citral essential oil has inhibition effect to the marker inflammation such as nitric oxide, interleukin-6, TNF-alpha, interleukin-1, COX-2, and nuclear factor kappa beta, which are involved in inflammation process. There are another study also about citral essential oil that many study has done to evaluate citral essential oil. They get from different species of citral, but all of them reported that the same result, that the CO has inflammation effect by evaluate marker inflammation, such as I mentioned before. Next plant that has proved anti-inflammation effect in essential oil is eucalyptus. Eucalyptus oil has been used since ancient times for its bactericidal, anti-inflammatory, analgesic, and sedative effect. In recent years, the action of eucalyptus oil has been scientifically proven, and there have been reports that eucalyptus oil suppress the production of chemokine, cytokine, and lipid mediator in basophil, alveolar macrophage, and monocyte. The component of eucalyptus essential oil, we name it as cimene, pinene, and terpene, and citronellane. Here, I also resume the essential oil eucalyptus study. Chen et al. Reported that eucalyptus has ability to inhibit the expression of level of the NF-alpha, interleukin 6, nitrogen oxide, iNOS, COX-2, and also in LPS macrophage. Others author also conclude that eucalyptus has anti-inflammation study, and it also has antioxidant capacity and can decrease oxidative damage and inflammatory reaction in tissue. Okay, next plants is aloe vera. I think maybe all of us know these plants. In Indonesia, we call this as lidah buaya. It's commonly used in cosmetic as a moisturizer. It's also used in toothpaste and flavoring or preservative of fresh product, and in medicine. In medicine, it's usually used to treat wounds, burns, insect sting, skin inflammation, antiseptic, antibacterial, antivirus, anti-tumor, anti-diabetic, and antiviral, and also it can use in hair growth.
Dr. Gade, you have 3 minutes more to complete your
presentation. Okay. Here is the resume of study about aloe vera essential oil. It also states that aloe vera has anti-inflammatory effect by inhibit the inflammatory marker, pro-inflammatory cytokine. If we see this slide, we can see the mechanism of action of aloe vera, where the anti-inflammatory activity is due to its component amino acid and phenylalanine. I still have 2 more plants. The last, the curcuma, where curcuma is a compound isolated from turmeric, a plant known for its medicinal use. Curcuminoid as the main bioactive substance in curcuma. Here we can see the substance of curcuma. I also resume the curcuma study in its ability of preventing inflammation, especially in skin disease. And there is a study where James combined the turmeric with the anti-inflammatory others, such as fish oil, where the combination of this agent can inhibit the inflammation, where turmeric oil contains sesquiterpenes and fish oil that has eicosanoic or EPA and DHA processing anti-inflammatory activity. The curcuma also inhibit the production of pro-inflammatory cytokine, such as the others plant that I have mentioned before. The last plants that I will show you is a cinnamon. We call this kayu manis. Is the main compound of cinnamon. The main compound of cinnamon as essential oil is cinnamaldehyde or cinnamic aldehyde that occurs naturally in the bark of cinnamon trees and other species of the genus cinnamon. Bark is the most part of the tree that has cinnamaldehyde. Is almost 65 until 80%. Here's the study about the cinnamon. There are new study by Chen in 2021, it showed that it can suppress inflammation by decreasing SOD, TNF-alpha, nuclear factor kappa beta, and also other pro-inflammatory cytokines such as interleukin beta, TNF-alpha, and interferon gamma.
Dr. Gade, your time is up. Yeah.
Okay. I only have one, but maybe I want to remind that although this product may have some benefit, they are often sold out without FDA approvals of efficacy and safety. But it must be remembered that this product is not safe when we directly use into our skin. It must be diluted with the carrier oil because it can cause the allergic contact dermatitis. Okay, this is my take-home message. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all. Okay, thank you very much then. Very good remark at the end, to give awareness to the participant, the dangerous of using the extract alone, need to have some kind of combination, in order to be applied in the human being. Yep. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Gardenia. Now I open up for Q&A from the participant, please. So I'll give 5 minutes for the participant to post your question. Dr. Gade, you can see from the chat.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. Is it from Prof. Dedi? How do you quantify one important thing keep on mind is the concentration of the not below minimum inhibitor? Oh no. Oh yeah. It's the answer of Dr. Dedi from the
information.
It's not for me.
Okay. The study that.
Okay. Okay, Prof. Rosmina,
okay.
There is one for you from Subhashi.
Yeah. The study that reduce inflammatory markers are human studies or animal studies. Okay. Almost all the study that I have researched in internet or in Google, there are no studies in human. It's still in animal model. So I think it's a big opportunity for all of us to do the further study to research in human or in the find and some new plants that has ability in inflammatory inhibition. So I didn't find any of my my literature, my I mean from all the study that I search in on internet, there are no study in human. It's still in animal model.
Okay, there are still gaps in the human study research, as related to essential oil and natural plants. Yeah, probably, this is a chance for our team to come up with some kind of ideas how to go about it. I know it is very costly to conduct the human studies, but sometimes it can be done, It depends case by case. Okay, my question to Dr. Gade, do you apply essential oil to your patient at M. Jami Hospital?
No.
No,
we haven't used it as a drug in our hospital, but maybe it's quite common in among the people. So, but some people, some patient came to us. Maybe they use the essential oil not as the direction of the fabric. So commonly they come to us with the contact dermatitis because maybe they apply the essential oil directly into their skin.
Okay, external use.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's what we normally do here as well in Malaysia, It just utilize or apply for external use only. Yeah, we never know, in the future, perhaps, when we can come up with the human studies outcome, the value of the essential oil and plants product will be more demanding. Yeah, we never know of that. Yeah. So is there any other question from the floor? Actually, the time is up now.
Okay.
Perhaps if anyone want to pose any question to Dr. Gardenia, you may do that. You may contact personally to via email to Dr. Gardenia, and she will, inshallah, entertain your question there. Yeah.
There is still one question.
One question. Okay, one question. All right.
Okay. Can you explain how to prevent the adverse effect of essential oil? The first, we have to obey the direction of each essential oil. Maybe one essential oil is not fit to another essential oil. So we should obey the direction of the essential oil. And remember that we have to dilute it with the cereal oil before apply it into our skin. Maybe that's the best way for us to prevent the adverse effect of essential oil, Prof. Rosmina. That's
okay, yeah, I suppose so. There must be certain procedures, to minimize the negative side effect from the external use. Yeah, so I suppose now we are out of time. As I mentioned just now, if anyone want to ask anything to Dr. Gania, please do so in the chat box. We are still open the platform, or you may want to contact Dr. Gania personally. Yeah. Okay. Now I suppose Alhamdulillah, our session come to an end. Thank you so much to Prof. Dedi, Dr. Gardenia for such an excellent knowledge sharing. Thank you also goes to everyone for joining our session today, and bear with me for the past 45 minutes. Great apology if there's any inconvenience words from me during my moderating tasks now. So with this, my final say, still healthy and happy with essential oil. I pass it over to Dr. Natasha for wrap up this webinar session. To you, Dr. Tasha.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rosmina, for sharing very smooth sessions. So, Bapak-Bapak, Ibu-Ibu, Tuan-Tuan, Puan-Puan, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring our webinar to a close, on behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to express our appreciations to the speakers, Associate Professor Dr. Dasuki Sulain, Professor Dr. Dedi Primaputra, and Dr. Gardenia Ahia for sharing the knowledge and experience on essential oils and their applications, as well as their potential to be used in complementary and alternative medicines, especially for treatments of dermatitis and inflammations. So our gratitude also goes to the moderators, Professor Dr. Rizanda Mahmud and Associate Professor Dr. Rosmina Muhammad for excellent job on moderating the panels. As usual, you are impressively well prepared and professional in the way you keep us height of our attention for almost 2 hours and making the panelists all appeared at their very best way. Thank you, Dr. Rosmina. Thank you, Prof. Rizanda. So my deepest gratitude also goes to all who attended this first webinar and helped to make it such a successful event. We hope that this activity has given you a much clearer understanding on essential oils and their application in health and medicines. So this activity, I believe that has highlighted the opportunity for more research to be conducted by both universities, USM and UNAND, and I believe that it will be benefited the economies for both countries, Malaysia and Indonesia. So before ending, I am happy to remind you all that we will have the second webinar in August with another interesting theme and topics by the distinguished speakers and panelists. So finally, my deepest thanks are of course reserved for the organizing committee, especially to Dr. Rosmina, Bapak Fakrul, Ibu Fajrina, and for their priceless contributions for running a smooth event. So thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you in August. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, terima kasih Prof. Prof. Rosmina, thank you.
Terima kasih semua.
Semuanya.
See you next.
Inshallah.
Prof. Ros, you are still mute.
Dr. Rosmina, mute.
Terima kasih Pak
Okey,
Uyung.
termute tadi.
Profesor
Partisipan masih ada enggak? Partisipan masih ada ya?
Masih.
Masih ada surat.
Attention to USM staff. Registration for CPD points can be done. Either scan or scan the QR code or click at the link provided in the chat. You know, for CPD code.
Terima kasih Bu WD1,
Ya, terima kasih
Bu
semua
Efrida,
ya.
ya semuanya yang hadir.
Semuanya
Guru
yang
besar,
hadir.
banyak guru besar yang hadir, Prof. Dari
Ya,
UNAND.
saya lihat dalam 100-an, 135 orang partisipan.
37 terakhir.
37 terakhir, ya. Alhamdulillah. Soalnya tadi malam saya final shoot ke Australia. So, saya kira partisipasi from mereka di Indonesia yang involved in essential oil. So itu akhirnya saya address the international participant there daripada Indonesia, daripada Australia.
Oh, alhamdulillah.
Ya, alhamdulillah. So,
Nah ini dari bagian kulit juga banyak yang hadir, residen, guru-guru besar, dosen.
Oh ya Kak.
Dan juga dari farmasi ya.
Alhamdulillah, the final shoot.
Guru besar ya.
Final shoot was really scary actually. Tapi alhamdulillah, I feel very grateful. And
berarti siap-siap bulan Agustus, Dr. Wit ya?
Ya, tapi kan Prof Riz, saya rasa kita harus lakukan postmortem for our activity. Ini sebab kita masih ada lagi 2 sesi ya. Dalam bulan Agustus dengan November. So saya fikir it is good if we can do postmortem for this one. Ya. So kapan rasanya kita bisa lakukan itu?
Minggu depan? Next week?
I think selepas analisis survei dilakukan.
Ya, analisis surveinya nanti Dr. Denny.
Oke.
Ya, nanti bilangin ya setelah selesai analisisnya. Nanti saya akan invite for WebEx meeting.
Paling cepat dalam 1 minggu ya, Prof, kira-kira ya, Prof?
Insyaallah. Tapi to be noted ya Bu, pada tanggal 4 sampai 11 itu libur sekolah di sini. So mungkin our team akan libur juga. Soalnya anak-anak lagi libur. So, saya juga libur dari tanggal 7 sampai 11.
Oh, baik.
Oke, baik.
Yeah. So, anything else, Tasha? You want to say anything ke Dasuki, our team?
So, saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada from UNAND kerana bertindak sebagai co-organizer, and then dengan adanya Zoom, our presentation telah lancar dan hopefully daripada perkongsian yang kita kongsi bersama tu, moga-moga dapat a lot of benefit lah to both parties dan kita akan try to collaborate in research and others lah. Ya gitulah.
Ya begitu ya.
Hopefully I also dapat contact from company that are interested to be part of our team lah. Means I would like to maybe sponsor in the future, but dia dah masuk tadi sebagai melihat kita punya maklumat dan juga perkongsian. Moga-moga our international symposium akan running smoothly and berjalan lancar lah. Itu kita punya doa lah. Gitulah.
Ya, amin. Amin. Ya, thanks also to our supporting staff ya di UNAND dan juga di USM, Mr. Fakhrul, Fajrina, for helping us to untuk melancarkan lagi webinar ini. So kita akan bekerjasama lagi for the next webinars.
Ya, di sini kita ada Dokter Raja juga yang nolong.
Ada Dr. Raja juga.
Ya.
Dr. Raja.
IT-nya kita sama Dokter Riri.
Riri, ya kan. Ya, akan diteruskan ya kerjasama ini. Okey, so saya kira itu aja ya. Permisi ya Bu. Ya, permisi nanti kita communicate dalam WhatsApp kan. Okey, terima kasih semua. Okey, bye-bye. Assalamualaikum.
Assalam.
Bye.
Ha.